Hello and welcome back to the Wicked Train podcast. I'm your host Levi. Today we're by myself and we're going to do something different today. We're going to cover the IPL, which we haven't done at all. The most recent two games with the Chennai Super Kings and the Punjab Kings, and the Lucknow Super Giants and the Kolkata Knight Riders. We'll start with the first game, Chennai Super Kings versus the Punjab Kings. Look, Chennai did everything wrong in T20 cricket in their batting. You lost one on the power play. They lost 3 wickets in 11 bowls. And you're thinking, for a tournament that's had a lot of success with big totals, big chases, what are we going to see here? And I think it's the last few games have changed the perspective here with lower scores. And we're going to idolise this player, Jadeja. 43 of 26 bowls and 3 for 20. If you're not going to put it on a side, that's one way to put the side on your back. And he's just shown why he's one of the best all-rounders in our game. I think his ability to bowl well, take wickets, he's one of the best fielders in world cricket going around. And I think when he's on with a bat, you find trouble bowling to him. And for him to save the game where they were, look, it's not great. I mean, they started all right. Um, they were 2 for 70 after 7, and that's not bad. You could get a good score here. They lost a couple wickets there. Dan Mitchell gone for 30, Moeen Ali gone for 17, Setner gone for 11. Like, it's a few low scores around there. But it's just the poise from Jadeja to hold his own, make a good 43, and get his team back in when they looked almost down and out. And it's just why he is, yeah, the best all-rounder going around. I think, yeah, Mr. Only Dark, and you're looking in trouble. But come to the bat, I think they did all the right things. They took one early, 1 for 9, after 1.3, Johnny Bairstow going out. Wally Rossaro making a duck. Shashank Singh making only 27. Sam Curran 7. And I think the pressure's back on the Punjab Kings, and credit to Shanghai. They held their own. Setna had 1 for 10 off 3. Obviously, Jadeja had 3 for 20 off 4. Shuttle Tulka 1 for 12 off 2. And then they kept Punjab to a respect a 140 in the end, which wasn't enough. And they won by 20. But the one positive for Punjab is Harshal back to his best. It says here 181 runs he's gone for in his first 4 games of the season. That was his first 4 games of the season gone for 180 runs. That's almost 50 a game. That's the exact same amount of runs he's gone for his previous 7, which is an epic, unreal comeback from him. I think in a format which hates bowlers. Picked up 13 wickets along the way, improved his death bowling, managed to skill Dhoni for a duck, and he's back. Like, that's just, he's back to himself, and this is what the IPL needs. I haven't watched much, but this is what T20 cricket's lacked, and this is what the IPL's lacking. Support for the bowlers. I think Lockie Ferguson had a day where he went for 28 off 1 over. Mitchell Starc hasn't been taking many wickets early on, and the questions of, is he this player that's worth this much? It's not a bowler-friendly tournament, and it's hard knowing that the best bowlers are struggling in a T20 format where you're thinking you can take a lot of wickets or you can go for a lot of runs, but there's been no real performer that's really dominated, taken the strides, and batters are just steamrolling bowlers through T20 cricket, and it's a game of luck. I'll come out and say you can come out, swing the first from the first ball, make a quick 50, and look who you are. Or you could go out for a duck, and it's like, oh well, you can bat next week, do the exact same thing. And bowlers are always under the pressure of which ball could go for 6, which ball could find the boundary, which ball gets through and gets a wicket here. And you just don't know. There's no confidence. There's no technique. There's no plan. You try to execute a plan, next minute you get ramped. Next minute the exact same ball you get hit through square leg even. There's just no balance between good bowling, good batting, and just. I know it's a lot of experimenting, short format. You got to get the runs going, but it just I'm traditional cricket, and this is not traditional cricket sort of thing. It's like it is very luck, and you've got to be able to ride your luck in cricket in any format. But I think in the IPL and any T20, you can write your own luck by just getting one drop catch or getting a chance that you need to push through and be able to capitalise. But we'll go back to the game. I think CSK were just too dominant. Looking at the stats here, one of the first overs of the game to dismiss Johnny Bairstow and Riley Bairstow boosted their chance of winning by 18%, which is crazy in a format that can change and turn by the second. And they're just too strong, and this is why they're third in the table. They just got the stars, got the players that can stand up when needed. Sertner had another great game, and he's a game winner. Yeah, I think for his second game, he hit a ball for the last ball to six to win the game. He's a game winner. Jadeja's a game winner. Dale Mitchell's a game winner when he's on. Emma Stone can take games. He's 40 and can take games away from teams. And then that's the benefit of this format is you can load your team up. And yeah, like it is, as I was saying, luck base. But I think you stack your team with the right amount of match winners, and you're able to turn something or nothing into something and create a great game. You're going to think Mitchell went on, 30 runs with 19 balls. I think as a fast-paced, Martin Ali didn't play his best. He's been a bit off. It'll be good to see him get back. But that's the beauty about this game. As much as I hate on it, it's just being able to turn over from being nothing, get your game winners into the games your J's are, and be able to capitalise. And that's what CSK did. And we'll go to the other game that was played the most recently, but there's a double header. The Golden Knight Riders playing Lucknow Super Giants. And boy oh boy, this was a thumping 98 run win. And we're going to highlight one player here from the Golden Knight Riders, and this is Sunil Naran. 81 runs off 39 balls, 6 fours, 7 sixes. Now, this is not a once off from him. He's been in amazing form this whole tournament. Smacked at 100, had another few 70s. He is back to his best, or he's riding his best right now, you could say. He's doing amazing things for Golden Knight Riders. It'd be interesting to see how he goes back with the West Indies during the T20 World Cup. But he's flying, and I think you got to jump on his back. Him and Phil Salt at the start of this game. Phil Salt went at a 32 run, 14 bowl, 5 fours, 1 6, and that's a heavy hitting top order. You got Andre Russell holding the middle, Shrey Irie as well. Like if that top order flies, you're not losing any games. And that's what happened. Stoinis went for 29 runs of 2 overs. He got whacked. There's one bowler in that team that went for under 9, and Ravi went at 8.25. Like that's a proper demolition of a bowling attack if you've ever seen one. Like yeah, someone went at 8. The next lowest went at 11.5. That's just putting bowlers under pressure and not having the ability to stop them. And to be able to convert, like Stark went at 11 and over, not his best. Ashit Rana took 3 for 24 for 3.1, going at 7s. Chanel again, performing again, had 1 for 22, going at 5s, the lowest economy in the game. This bloke is dominating, and if you're not believing that he can keep doing this, I think you're silly. Yes, he's been a bit hit and miss, but he has this ability to win the games. Like going at 5 and over in a T20, where we've seen scores of 260, 200 plus multiple games, like even today, 200 plus. And could he be the next big all-rounder? Could he follow in Jadeja's footsteps? We gotta wait and see. And I think this T20 World Cup will be interesting. And with that, Australia did announce their team, and being an Australian, I'm not very happy. I think we're still giving a chance to David Warner, who doesn't really care about cricket anymore. And I think we missed a chance there to give Jake Fraser-McGurk a chance, who has been whacking them in his games he's played, 450s in the IPL. and then to miss out on team selection is crazy to me. I know you want to play your big guns, but we won recently. Expose the kid. He whacked the West Indies around. Why not expose him to one of the best bowling attacks? Expose him to England, expose him to India, and see what he can do. I backed the bloke to whack him again. I back him to make 50s in the World Cup. So I don't know why we're playing Warner when he's on the brink of retiring still. And we have this prodigy who's not even in the squad. He can't learn anything from not being in the squad. So I think Australia missed the mark there. But this World Cup will be very interesting for a few teams. But I think it'll be a same old from the World Cup point of view. India will do well. England will do well. West Indies will be interesting. New Zealand should do well. It's a standard, and this is the issue with world cricket at the moment. I know we'll talk about IPL and we'll change it, but I think that there's just not enough balance at the moment with the top six compared to the best. You got to think the top four has to be Australia, New Zealand, England, and India. Then you got Pakistan and South Africa sitting there. West Indies are there, but not there. Like that middle order is kind of their own middle order. Pakistan float. I think when they play well, they are easily a top three team. And then you got to think that you got Zimbabwe, you got USA, you got the Netherlands still playing these World Cups, but they don't stand a chance. You think Afghanistan took it to Australia, but Australia were good enough to beat them. Maxwell was good enough to beat them with no legs. You probably got to think any other team puts Australia away there, but they just crumbled under the pressure. And it's interesting. I know we got to wait a few years for these teams to develop, but Afghanistan has been around for a while, Zimbabwe's been around for a while, West Indies have been around for a while. What are they missing? You're going to ask, what are they missing? It's not the coaching, because the coaches have been around for ages. It's not experience, because the teams have been around for ages. Yes, you could argue it's player experience, but I feel like it's probably poor management of your players if they're not experienced enough. Like I said with Australia, why not you playing Face McGurk, get him experience? In a few years when the next World Cup rolls around, he's not experienced, and you have to play him because Warner's retired, then it's like, well, where are you? And then the pinpoint goes to him. I think if you can balance your team better to bring in more rookies, or not rookies, but more young kids, and be able to fast track their development that way rather than just have them sit on the sidelines till your top guys retire, it's a much better way of structuring your team. And while I've got a bit of time, this is gonna be a shorter one. I want to have a look at the county. Now, the first three rounds are played at Kookaburra, which is very interesting. But in this county, we are seeing some massive, massive scores. I think in the first three rounds, we saw games of going one innings for 500 runs and becoming a draw in 4 days, which is interesting for the state of cricket. And I think we are seeing it's almost unbalanced, sort of here. Like looking at it here, the most recent one, Sussex made 470, bowled at Derbyshire for a combined 350. Somerset, like they got bowled out for 150. Is like it's a weird county thing, and not being from England, not knowing the county system, it's a weird look from an outsider. Like the Kookaburra kind of took away from what county's been of like slow medium bowlers, get heaps of movement with the Dukes, but so that kind of helped the bigger scores early on in the year. You'd think that the 655 from Middlesex round one and the 620 for three from Glenmorgan, like that's insane. And I know there's a lot of rain around England, like it's always the wet the wet country when you look in the terms of cricket, but we're still seeing some massive scores, and yes, it is a lot of draws in there because obviously rain affected, but I don't know if I like that for the state of cricket, all these draws, especially when counties are 4 day sort of series, and they're trying to push Test cricket to a 4 day series. Like I'm looking at here, the bottom of Division 1 from Somerset have currently not had a result. They've played 4 matches for no result. Durham's played 4 matches for 1 result. And the rest below them have played 4 matches for 1 result. That doesn't make sense. The top of Division 2, the top 3 teams have played 4 matches with no result. 6 have played 4 matches with no result. So it's interesting to see how a 4-day series always ends in a lot of draws, but they want to push Test cricket to go to 4 days. Doesn't sit right with me. So I don't know how you balance that, because you can't really add in a 5th day because it's always been 4 days. State cricket's always been 4 days. But you got to find a way to stop like these draws. Like round 2 here, there was not one resulted game in Division 1. Not one resulted game. The next week, there was 4 results out of 9. So half the game gets results. The week after, 1 game got results out of 7. Rest were draws. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But you can let me know your thoughts about it. But for a cricketer myself, it just doesn't sit right. All these draws. But thought we'd keep it short and sharp today. Get something out for you lads. Let me know what your thoughts are on county, IPL, and everything. And I'll see you potentially Friday for another podcast. We'll see what happens. Maybe cover a bit of footy. But thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure.